Jumanello, Dollinger, Fritz, Mayor, Moran, Parker, Rice, Winfrey, here, Frizzalone.
Here.
You have a quorum. We also have Mr. Eustace and Mr. Brooks.
Oh, good. All right,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first up we have the approval of minutes from May 16th. A motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Next is the executive session minutes from May 16th. Move.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And the minutes from June 6th.
Move. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So we'll pop over to old business, the update on the Will County Public Safety Complex delivery team.
You don't have pass out some reports if you're going away from the kids' after.
Most important update is we have new baby.
We have a baby. About a week and almost 2 weeks, or has it been 2 weeks?
What's the baby's name?
Alan.
Alan Charles.
Colin Charles. Nice.
Oh, you got it? Oh, thanks. No.
Both mom and baby are healthy. Good. And really good.
Good morning.
Yeah, all right, so passed out the bi-weekly construction report, so I'll just do a quick update. Not a whole lot has changed since the last meeting. The interior of the building, we're still working on final taping and just some prime paint. The MDF rooms have been turned over, so I know the sheriff's group, Jackie and her team, are in those 2 rooms installing equipment. MEP rough and in-wall inspections are taking place. We'll be dropping ceiling tiles in the next few weeks. Exterior of the building, we're still working on the shell, so the fiber cement panel, you'll see it start to wrap around the front of the building if you guys drive by. Site work, majority of the curb work is in for the main base building. For the impound lot, we're doing some grading and it's going to start that curb work within a week or 2. And we've started some excavation for the deceleration lane. Phase 2 work, we are currently doing some undercuts, which are the design undercuts for the milling, and doing curb work for the phase 2 area. Any questions?
Ready?
Specifics? Yeah.
Okay.
If we want to have a tour, do we need to let you know in advance, or can we just show up?
If you've got a large group, it'd be nice to have a heads up, just so we can make sure we've got everything accommodated for you guys.
Okay. But if it's just 1 or 2 people, doesn't
Just stop in the trailer, and
Okay.
we'll get you guys fitted with a hard hat and vest, and make sure you guys, if you have boots, wear boots, no open toe shoes or anything like that.
Previously sent email to the Capitol Committee, if you guys are interested in contact Dave Wright, and we can take you out through.
And if somebody does, I do want a tour, but I don't want to go by myself. So if you do, Gretchen, if somebody sign up, let me know, Brady, and I'll maybe tag along.
I'm going to go over and call me.
All right, thank you. I feel better.
And even if you come here and meet here and right out there.
Well, my office is only a few minutes from it,
That's
but
yeah.
let's come this
Let
way,
me
go
know.
that way. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
One of the things that I just wanted to mention, and just to elaborate very briefly on the site work that's being done, you know, it's really you really get, if you haven't been to the site in a while, with all of the curb and gutter in now on the, you know, for the new building itself, not in the existing parking lot,
Right.
but it really gives you a better feel for how that's all coming together from a site plan perspective. And the other thing that I did want to mention is that we are scheduled to begin work for the new tower on the 1st of August, pending all of the approvals, or I'm sorry, the plan reviews, approvals, permitting, and the like, and all of that is underway. So having said that, I'd like to, do you have anything that you wanted to talk about?
No, just wanted to be here in case there are any questions.
All right, I'd like to then turn things over to Kevin, because if you recall, we talked about the monument sign.
Right.
And so there was some input that we received.
Right.
There are some other concepts that Kevin's going to present for us. And love to get your input again. You want to just change it? Oh, okay.
Good morning, everyone. Kevin Kern with DLR Group. The last meeting, I believe Jake presented a few options for the site signage here and for the monument sign. And we've got a few revised images that we can run through. Why don't you start with the first one on the far left? So we talked a little bit about materiality of the signs. The base would be the same black iron spot brick that's on the building. Above that base, we have a metal panel with pin-mounted letters. In this case, I believe that the sheriff felt that most of the folks coming to the facility are looking or are there to visit the sheriff, and so wanted us to look at some options to identify the sheriff's office on the monument sign to make it easier for folks coming to the site to find the entry. The sign would have an LED light near the top, which would wash down the face, so creating sort of a backlit or halo effect on the letters. And the letters would be standing off of the face of the metal panel of the sign. So we feel that that's the best way to light the sign, rather than having a face or a light fixture in the landscaping area that you have to mow around and maintain. It's a little bit more compact and a little bit more efficient in terms of lighting. So, Margo, if you want to flip to the next image. This is a little bit more compact in terms of the height of the sign. These letters are, I believe, 12 inches in height. So we want the letters to be large enough to be read from the roadway, and motorists on Laraway I believe the speed limit is about 55 miles an hour. So we want the letters to be large enough to be seen easily.
Are those white letters?
On the metal,
No, I mean where it says Laraway Road.
those would be like a stainless steel in appearance, so they'd be more of a lighter silver, and that's on the brick, brick base. So the brick is a black iron spot, so we want a good contrast there. On the metal above, that metal is more of a light gray, so those would be a black letter on that, just to give us some good contrast so that the letters would pop.
And the lights are going to be in that little ledge on top?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, so the ledge on top will overhang the face of the sign on both sides, and they make a little LED light that's about 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches, and that would tuck under that ledge, so we create sort of a little reveal to hide that light.
Right. That's going to wash,
It'll wash
standoff letter?
It'll wash behind the letter, so you'll light the entire surface of the metal panel, and then by contrast, you'll be able to see the letters. So, and then we have one more option. This is an all brick sign. I think we like the first two options better.
Number 2.
Yeah, but don't we lose public safety count?
I like number one, because it's public safety. Because it says everything that's there.
Everything is there. Like the fact that
Offset that blue on the sheriff's office, not with the badge on the top right corner. Better. Badge
or that first one, I guess it would be the bigger sign, the first one. But also, when you say the LED lights and it shines down, obviously you have them on the smaller sign. Is that enough for that larger sign? Is it really? I'm just curious, so it can do anything on the bottom to reflect up at all, or is it only coming down? I'm just curious. I mean,
No, that's a good question. The LED light is really powerful, and we'll check with the lighting manufacturer just to make sure we can watch that entire distance.
and then what size, on the bigger sign, what size are the letters compared to the other sign? You said the smaller sign is 12 inches.
I
What's-
believe they're both the same height.
Okay,
in
just-
terms of
okay,
letters.
curious.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, right, you're right. It's taller because there's more lines of.
This was with closer left justified or whatever, and this was at the conference, like, it's just, like, sure, like the badge down in the lower.
Yeah, we can make that change.
The badge up and put the address down.
Badge the address back down.
Yeah, they have to put the address back at the bottom with the stainless, I think it's, in real life, I think it's actually a little bigger contrast than what we're seeing on these slides. The resolution is a little bit under, but the stainless will stand off of that brick pretty good, I think.
Well, would there be another LED on the brick ledge to light anything, any kind of image that would be on the brick?
On the
We
bottom of those ones.
could do that. We hadn't envisioned that in this option, but we could.
The only thing is that the light is gonna be for at night, right? If someone's coming to this facility at night, they're coming because it's the sheriff's office. So
Sure.
that's gonna be lit. You don't necessarily need the address that Google's gonna take there. But if there's deliveries of some sort, and people understand the address, during the day, it doesn't need to be lit, it should be, from the daylight. So I don't think you need a light on, I don't think you need a light on the address, but I think we should move the address down too. And then,
Address down the badge up.
just have the badge up and the description.
Okay.
You're looking at ways.
So the address will also be on the building. It'll be on the glass above the entry door. So the lights are on in the lobby. That'll be illuminated from that point of view. But we'll go ahead and make these changes. We'll left justify. We'll kind of sheriff's office, move the badge up, and on option 2, keep public safety complex, and then move the address down to the right.
Yeah, we can bring that back at Lana, put that up for the next meeting.
Okay.
Go on that final design.
Thank you.
Cool. All right,
Thank you.
anything else from the team?
Mr. Ricker, do you have any update?
Yeah, just a quick update. Jim Ricker with Farmsworth Group. On the commissioning side, we're still continuing our regular site inspections and witnessing of equipment installations and startup. Otherwise, I think we're tracking well for turnover of Area A in August or September, so we'll have a lot more testing type activities, I would say starting mid-August to help support that turnover. Otherwise, no major issues from a commissioning perspective.
Okay, any other questions? All good? All right, thanks a lot, guys. Keep up the good work.
Are you?
Next up, courthouse update, Jason, Tom, Dave.
Yep.
Morning.
Morning.
So we have a pretty light update. We're just continuing on with our work right now. We've, I guess, one bit of news, and not to steal Tom's thunder on this, but we're moving forward with an early bid package on the project for vertical transport, elevators, escalators. One of the reasons for that is we're trying to get that out to bid, get somebody under contract, and then use that information to fine tune some of the detail, because each manufacturer's got slightly different hit dimensions and all that, so it just helps us with sequencing a little bit. And we're scheduled things for us. So that'll go out on, we're delivering documents to Gilbane on the 23rd, so Friday. And then I think we're looking at getting that probably on the streets right after the 4th of July, right, Tom? Okay, and then we've also got some early permit stuff going in, site-related stuff like IDOT. We're working with IDOT on 2 of the adjacent roads with some of the street work, with pushing the curbs out. So Scott Beach from Maytar Green, who's working on that for us, is looking to probably have some of those submittals at the end of the month, just to get things moving with that. We've been meeting with them, but just to get the formal submittal in. And then we're going to have all of our building permit submittal stuff into the city at the end of July. We've had meetings with them regularly too, just to kind of track on the detail, and that's gone well. But we want to get the stuff in early so that if they have any comments or there's any refinements that need to be made as a result of permit comments, we can get those incorporated before we get too far with bidding. With the approval of the build out of the 2 shelled floors, we're quickly trying to get that rolled back into the project. The design as it was before had was planned just 4 shelled floors. We had slightly different mechanical configuration and all that there. So we started on that already. We've had meetings with users to refine some of the technology for those floors and some other details to kind of finalize the design for that and get that incorporated in the construction documents. That's going to take us a little bit longer, but in order to stay on the overall schedule for the project and bidding, what we're looking at doing is getting a package of documents out for the early procurement items like concrete and excavation and steel and all those things. Our documents will go to Gilbane at the end of August. Then the balance of the documents will go in September. So we're basically looking at 1 month later for final completion of construction documents, but doesn't impact the construction schedule. So we were able to kind of fine tune some of that and break it up into packages, whereas originally we were just going to have it as one issuance of documents. So I think we've all as a team been kind of working through that on our regular Thursday meetings to make sure everything's in good shape. One other thing we've got is an interim submittal for 75% construction documents this Friday. A lot of that is product and system specification updates. A lot of that will go to Farmsworth, so they have an opportunity to do another review of how that stuff's coming, including mechanical controls and all the fine detail with that. So overall, everything's tracking right for schedule for us, and no major issues right now.
Mr. Jason?
We met Friday with Rita Wight and our purchasing manager, Dave Tank. Had a pretty good meeting, going through the bid dates here that we've got now for 1, 2, 3, 4 bid releases. The first being the elevators, as Jason said. Getting all the front ends together now. We'll submit those to Rita this week. Get the package and the information from Jason and Wight Friday. We're going through that. We've had some conversations with the elevator consultant, so we're trying to get the best possible package put together. Dave, I know, is working with Large Phase 2, so we're fine-tuning that package, getting ready to go out, shortly after the 4th of July weekend. So that one should be it's a good one to get out first because they need the information, and it will also be good for us to get all our documents together, get everybody looking at those, and get all of that finalized. We continue to proceed with the outreach, and we appreciate Reagan's help in getting the locations finalized, 7/26, July 26th, for the next one, outreach meeting, and we'll do that at 5:30 p.m. And that one, and help me here, I can never keep it straight, that one's at the IBEW Hall, thanks Dave. And then the next one will be August 23rd at the Fitters Hall, right there off of Route 80. That will also be at 5:30. I think we decided that might.
You'll find your way there.
Oh.
Don't do anything here.
Okay. Still hoping for that. Yeah.
So those will be at 5:30, or that one's at 5:30 also, so we look forward to getting those and getting some of the other people we may not have talked to or contacted during the first one on May 3rd. We're putting together the bidders list, and I know there's some people that the county is wanting to make sure we get included in the invites for the next 2 outreach programs and on the bidders list. I've been talking to quite a few people, and I know that I think the county has a number of people they're going to send us names for too, so we want to make sure we get everybody included. One of the things that came out of our meeting with Rita on Friday was, and this was a good suggestion on her part in our bid form, to make sure that we've got a space there, I think on page 3 of it, where they identify Will County contractors, address name of these subcontractors from the prime so that we can see who we've got that is participating in the project. And it's something we're going to stress to them, and I think breaking it out that way too is going to underscore the importance of them being able to solicit and to obtain the Will County bidders. So that was a very good suggestion, and so we're going to proceed with that. Office-wise, we've looked at some space right across the street. We've got the trailer down there. It looks great. It's got the skirting, it's got the stairs and everything. It's just ready to go. On the south side, and that's going to be a big help. North side, we've found a building, I think, with Dave and Reagan's help, and probably have got an office location there identified just on the north side of Jefferson Street. So we'll be right north-south side of the site with our two offices. The one on the south will be a big conference area, superintendents, safety guys in there, and then on the north side will be all the project managers, engineers, and so forth. So hope to get that resolved here very shortly. And I think that's probably about it. Just continue to write scopes of work, getting ready for the specs that'll come out this Friday, I guess the 23rd, right, for the 75% complete specs. So putting together all the front ends of the bid documents, and really can't wait to get the first package out on the street in July, 1st of July.
And if I might add, just one before questions for Tom or any of us. The abatement contract for the existing First Midwest or old building to be demolished is out on the street. Okay, so bids are due.
We had an addendum, right, Rita? Sorry to put you on the spot, but those are due, I want to say now.
We'll be coming back with recommendation for award at the August meeting. And we're doing this because we want to get that abatement contractor started, coincide his start date with the 4th floor and the basement in advance of building, of moving everybody out of the building. Yeah. So that you can, we're trying to work it so it's just a continuous flow. There's no downtime between start and then move out and then continuation. And so that's the aim there, because once he's done, that is the green light for beginning the demolition of the existing building. I think that it's also interesting, and one of the things I'd like Jason to share with the committee is what's up on the roof now and what's being done, because I think that's it's an interesting thing. It's something that has concerned everybody on this project delivery team, myself included. So Jason can talk about a little bit where we're going to address it.
Yeah, sorry, I skipped over that. We have an acoustical consultant on the project, and one of the things that's been talked about on and off throughout the design is just the issue of surrounding site noise, whether it's trains or truck traffic and that kind of thing. So, we did some, I guess, simple analysis in terms of what our building current, the new courthouse design is for the exterior wall construction versus the existing, and there's like night and day difference between the design, as you can imagine. But just because we wanted to make sure we had a good feel for what the surrounding noise was and more of an analytical approach to it, we had our consultant put some sound measuring equipment on the roof of the First Midwest Bank building. So we're taking sound readings over about a week-long period of time, trying to track down kind of consistent noise as well as some of the spikes in noise in that. Once we get that data, we can reanalyze it against the design for the exterior wall. There's a couple things we've talked about throughout design, windows being kind of one of the weak points in general in terms of your sound transmission between the exterior and the interior of the building. And there's a couple strategies you can use to basically increase your it's outside-inside transmission, and there's a fancy technical terms, but it's really the buffer between the sound from outside to inside. And you can use different thicknesses of glass in the system. So we've even talked about trying to bid some alternate bids for that. One option we looked at was a pretty modest cost increase. But I think with this data, we'll have a better feel for it, and may lead us toward a final decision on whether we want to bid some additional alternates just to provide some extra value there.
Dave, based on what we're doing right now on the fourth floor, getting all of the furniture and debris out, and you have the bid out, when do you think we'll start the abatement on that floor?
We are going to be coming to you with a recommendation for award in August. The revised bid due date, thank you, Rita, is the 13th of next month. Okay, so we'll be coming to this committee and with the board with a recommendation for award, and then schedule the start of that thereafter, but do so in a sensible way. So that way, if it's going to take 10 days for the basement and 10 working days for the fourth floor, and they're doing them separately, we'd want to schedule that work no later than 20 working days before, like, so November 1st, we would start the abatement, predicated on the move date for everyone to be.
So they would work continuously doing four
They would go
basement,
floor,
3, 2,
basement,
1.
and then everything else would be vacated, and then they would go
So
to.
they're not coming back.
Right, that's the whole idea there, and
But ideally, so if they start before that, once the sheriff's people are out, we're looking at what kind of time frame to finish the other 3 floors.
we're looking at approximately 10 days of floor,
So 2, 4,
give or
6,
take.
6 more weeks
Possibly.
after we move it out, maybe a little less. Okay, Don?
We didn't ask, but is the sheriff's facility, the move-in date still the same? We're not asking you guys, but I'm asking the back. Are we still, what's our
We're still
move-in date?
on track with our move-in date, and we let the I think we mentioned it earlier. We let the sheriff's department already start moving some things into the MDF room. There will be an earlier phase-in date for the 911 center, so those folks will be.
That's what I'm wondering. If it's an earlier date, are we adjusting the abatement accordingly? I guess that's my question.
We're going to coordinate it as closely as we possibly can, so that way the work continues.
All right. So my other question was going to be for Gilbane. Are we thinking about moving up the schedule for any other bid lettings besides the elevators and escalators?
We'll have demolition, will be the next one, and that'll be in the second release.
But they're still on the dates that we had at that last meeting?
Yeah.
For the handout?
Yeah. One of the other things too, I did need to touch on regarding the utility relocations with AT&T, ComEd, and Nicor. I know both Dave Tack and our guys, myself and Dave Laramie from Gilbane, have spent considerable time pursuing the reps from these utility groups to coordinate the relocation of the AT&T service. Primarily, that's going to be the big one to get out of the way. Nicor is probably not as bad, and ComEd we've got probably a better handle on, I think, of all three. So to that end, we were going to, we are inviting these folks to come to our OACM meeting on June 29th here, 2 o'clock. We're going to have what we call a card trick scheduling session with them to try and get dates out of them, some kind of formal engineering dates, work dates, start work, complete work, and then tie that in the construction schedule. We have had meetings with, I think, all 3 of them, and we've gotten some kind of schedule information from them. I think they've all missed their dates. So we're going to do this in the air of, this is the project, we'll have the project team there. I've done it before on jobs where you get them all there and then they don't feel like it's just them and they can see how they fit into the big picture. So we're putting those invitations out now and hope to get all these guys here on the 29th. I think that probably is a good way to try and approach it with them and convey a sense of urgency to them.
Good.
Yeah.
The abatement process, that takes what, about 30 days, 3 weeks or 4 weeks?
Roughly speaking, 10 days of floor, 10 working days per floor.
Okay.
We've got 5. We've got 5.
5 floors, okay.
4 floors in the
Okay.
basement.
4 floors in the basement.
Okay. All right. That's-
And for the sampling that's done and the work that needs to happen may be a little bit less than what has been identified in the way of the surveys. I mean, bear in mind that you can only sample, only pull so many samples, In this case, it's like a membrane that's down beneath the, it's on the structural slab up beneath the finished flooring. And so it's contemplated that it's throughout the floors based on the sampling, but it may not be. It may only be
Certain
in.
areas.
So if that's the case, then we have a method for dealing with that to adjust the.
So there's some
the bid.
concerns that it might be something down there that.
Oh, we know there's something
No,
down
we
there,
know.
we just don't know if it's everywhere.
Everywhere, okay,
Dave,
okay.
it's a flooring material of some kind?
It's a black tar-ish membrane that is kind of like a bond
So
breaker.
it's not friable, so it's be a little bit easier for them, but that's on, you think that's on every floor? Is there anything else? Is there pipe insulation? Is there
There's pipe
asbestos in plaster walls, for instance? Is there?
There's some ceiling
No
tile.
plaster?
There's some ceiling tiles. There's some pipe insulation. There's the boiler in the basement, which is completely covered in ACM. Each floor will be cordoned off for each work area.
Well, yeah.
That's what- you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, just for everybody else's benefit, is completely contained and monitored. There's no danger to anyone with respect to doing this work in an occupied building. It's done all the time. But the real issue here is with respect to this membrane material that I spoke of, to see what the quantity is. If the quantity is what we expect it to be, then we're looking at that. If it's less, 10 days of floor roughly. If it's less, then we might be able to do better. But the main issue is that membrane that I spoke of. The secondary one is pipe insulation, and the third one, we've got some ceiling tile. Anybody that's interested in looking at the survey, the report, be glad to share it with you.
You go in first.
Okay.
I survived the activist pharmacy days.
Okay, so far, never say never.
Any report from
Keeps breaking
Farmsworth?
down and grinding, so.
Just as Jason mentioned, they're releasing a 75% spec update on Friday, so we'll be performing a review on those, and we'll be coordinating our comments and concerns with Wight directly in an effort to prepare for our full review at the permits at the end of July.
Great. All right, thanks team, and both teams, you've done such a great job. You don't have to show up the first Tuesday of next month, right? You have that day off. And then,
You can come that day if you want.
Before they
You
go.
don't have to have your meeting in
If
the
they
parking
can, you
lot.
want them to come Thursday?
well, do we,
I don't think we need them.
you guys tell me, unless we need an update.
If you need to come, you can come to the executive.
I don't think we'll have any, at least for us.
Yeah, if
I don't think we'll have any
there's something that
pressing
comes up that you need to deal with, then we'll come Thursday at the executive and we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll have our second meeting of the month, I don't know what the date
July
is.
18th.
July 18th, okay. And then we can do our updates then. Same for you, Lee?
I heard you. Reagan mentioned that to me as well.
Anytime you need to come to the executive committee, for timing's sake, you can come to the executive committee. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Before we go on to the next agenda item, I just wanted to mention very briefly that the city of Joliet did begin their water main replacement, or water main upgrade / replacement project last night. So you're going to see some activity down by the courthouse. Right now it's on Washington Street, just south of the courthouse. That was their first scheduled starting point to do some work, and they wanted to go further than we anticipated last night, which involved a shutdown of the water for the existing courthouse. And Jim Ellis, we've gone to a number of different pre-con meetings with the city and with their contractor, Louis Construction. And one of the things that we became concerned about, and I have to give the credit to Jim Ellis, was that there was no backup plan yesterday in the event that they weren't able to, that they would shut down the water at 7 p.m. and then if there was a problem, there was no backup plan to reactivate by 6 a.m. this morning. And so here's what you do. Dig it up, expose it, see what you got down there, because there was uncertainty of whether it was a 12-inch main they were dealing with or a 14-inch main they were dealing with, and they had 12-inch main replacement parts. And I'm like, so what if it's a 14-inch, and you have the water shut down? Well, long story short, they took that under advisement. They backed off a little bit on what they wanted to do last night for that very reason. And we're working very, very closely with them because it's important to us as well to get that new water service. And essentially later on next month, they'll begin their sewer main upgrade project as well. Both are scheduled to be completed by the end of this year. It's going to be tight over there. There's the bus rerouting. You see the work that's going on. The city's trying to open up that brew pub in Union Station. So they're doing some work out there. It's gonna just continue to get busier. And one other thing that I did want to mention, which is also related, is to the water project, is that we allowed the city and their contractor, Deconstruction, a portion of our surface parking lot back south of the City of Joliet Police Headquarters as laydown area. And so they have some, if you go down that way today, you'll see some structures out there, you'll see a temporary fence, et cetera, and so forth. I mention that because we just updated the IGA that includes all of the transactional issues that are pending right now. And so we're ready to send those back to the city by the end of this week. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that the laydown area, the status of those IGAs, and I want to make sure this committee was aware of it.
Great. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
All right, we'll run through our new business, if there's any old business, on all of our bill paying. Let me ask first, I'll go fast. Is there anything that anybody's going to want to stop on in particular? There's some questions on, otherwise we'll just do a rapid fire. So we'll start off with number 1, authorizing payment to Farmsworth Group for the Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to HR Green for the Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to HR Green for the Will County Public Safety Complex.
Move.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Strom, DeYoung, and Prisby for our Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to DLR Group for the Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Leopardo Companies for the Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Midwest Environmental Consulting Services for the Will County Public Safety.
Second.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to ComEd for the Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion. Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Nicor Gas for the Will County Public Safety.
Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to CDW for Will County Public Safety Complex.
Motion.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Robert Schwartz for the Will County Courthouse. Moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Wight and Company for the Will County Courthouse.
Move.
Moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Authorizing payment to Gilbane Company for the Will County Courthouse.
Move. Second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carried. And finally, and I hope you all noticed in those last four, it's the Will County Courthouse. Authorizing payment to Farmsworth Group for the Will County Courthouse. Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That was nice, got through those quickly. You have any other new business? Do we have any public comment? Any public comment? Anything else? The Chairman's report, did you like? Sounds good. We have a motion to adjourn. Moved. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.